Top 10 things for you never to buy on AliExpress, aka Alibaba. Those are the things that you should not be getting. Those are the things that are going to get your account restricted and more likely even banned from selling, such as on Amazon FBA or eBay. So why are those not allowed? Well, first of all, Oakley is a very nice sunglasses company, except the ones that are sold on AliExpress are cheap knockoffs of the real deal. Bad enough that they're cheap knockoff, they are actually selling it only at half price. I wouldn't be actually buying those even if they were giving out for like 10 bucks. They're not worth it. The only thing that you're paying for it is the brand name. And since the brand name comes with actual quality that only comes from the authentic source, I would stay away from those as far away as possible. So what are those? Those are cheap imitation version of the actual very popular Oakley sunglasses. And it is a sad thing that they are allowed to be sold over here. Those are fake copies and you should never buy them under any price. Next thing, and number 2 thing that you should never actually buy on AliExpress is going to be anything Star Wars related. Star Wars is an actual trademark that is owned by the Walt Disney Company. Anything that is sold under the Star Wars name has to be actually allowed to be sold. So if you buy something from an authentic place such as Target, Walmart, and even some Amazon sellers, you're actually paying for the license of the product and you're reselling it, which is totally allowed. But over here, they are actually taking a knockoff version of the real deal and selling it under the Star Wars brand name, but they are not giving the people who actually created the license fee, which makes it a fake copy. Therefore, those are the kind of items that you should definitely stay away from, because those are the things that can get you kicked out of eBay or Amazon FBA. So be careful with that. And if you think that nobody is going to recognize that you're selling those just because the pictures look so good, think again. Those things are fake copy for a reason. A lot of people who are and know much about Legos, especially, know what is a fake Lego versus the real deal. Therefore, I totally recommend for you to only stick with the real Legos. Talking about Legos, this is another thing that you should never be selling. It is a fake copy of a Lego set. Lego actually won an injunction against actually those companies selling a fake copy of Lego bricks. Therefore, anything that looks exactly like this should not be sold. In fact, any Lego related item should not be sold at all. And I want to show you one of them here as an example. This item right here is actually looking almost like the authentic thing, but it's not. This is a fake copy of a Lego set. Bad enough, not only it is a fake copy, they use probably an actual picture of the real deal, making it look almost as good as the real thing. But when you get it, it's not even close to it. Even worse than that, the price of it is only a little bit cheaper than the real deal, which makes it a total waste of money for you. And this is not the original product. It says Lupin. This is not a Lego product. It just makes to look almost identical as if you're buying the real deal. You're just saving a little bit of money, but you're getting a super inferior product that is made in China, and it's not an authentic item that should be bought and sold for money. So this is another item that you should totally stay away from. Next item, makeup sets. A lot of those makeup sets are not approved by the FDA. Therefore, they should not be sold in United States at all. You don't know what is the chemical composition of any of those makeup sets. Some of them are knockoffs of the real thing. Those are definitely things that you should stay away from and never buy and sell. There's a lot of products on AliExpress that you should be super careful and never buy and resell for money. This is one of those products that I would stay away from almost anything in this category, especially if it applies to the skin itself. If you're buying accessories for makeup instead, those are actually safe. So the actual makeup, I would stay away from. Next thing, and this one is ball magnets. Those ball magnets are totally unallowed for you to sell in the United States. They've been recalled because those small items, because they're totally small, they're very dangerous for kids to play with. Therefore, they have been recalled. So you can't go and sell those magnets, although you could potentially sell them as an adult product for people to use it. But since it has been recalled and it is so close between what is a toy and what is for an actual use, I would not actually sell those as well. So if something has been recalled, you should not be actually selling it. Another thing that they should have done is actually restricted to be shipped to United States, and they do allow it to be shipped, unfortunately. So this is another one of those products that is selling as a toy, and it shouldn't be because it has been restricted. One of the reasons for that is that it is easily mistaken for a toy and could be used as a toy, and it is a safety hazard. If a kid swallows it and dies or goes to the hospital, that's a liability for you. Therefore, no reason for you whatsoever to sell this. Next thing that you should not be getting into, although this is a very profitable niche, is the fidget spinners. Yes, you can sell the fidget spinners. Unfortunately, the whole marketplace with fidget spinners have been oversaturated with so much inventory that you have a very hard time for you to sell. Also, things that are Star Wars related or superhero kind of items are really questionable, and I don't recommend for you to sell. So over here, yes, you might be able to find some interesting widgets for you to sell, but since the market has been so saturated with them, you have a very hard time actually getting any profits. To top it off even worse, you'll be competing against some of those China sellers selling the same exact item on the eBay marketplace as well. So that makes it even more harder for you to make any real money in the fidget spinner business. Although this was a very profitable niche a while back, right now it is no longer the case. Next thing that I don't suggest for you to get into is anything has to do with superheroes. Again, superheroes, Marvel, all kinds of brand names are something you should definitely stay away from, because you're not giving the actual people who own the trademark to them any profit. Therefore, all those companies who make them are totally violating the rules and doing something they shouldn't be actually doing. And I don't suggest for you to go to take any of those products and try to resell them for a profit, because you'll be actually going against the rules in the United States. And of course, you can get your whole account get totally restricted, and that's not a good idea. Next thing I don't suggest for you to sell is anything Disney related. In fact, they have a Disney China version, and the Disney China version is not an actual real deal. So this is a Disney China, but is this the real Disney China? That's a good questionable question here. It looks like it might be a version of the actual really Disney thing that is selling in actually China. Could this be the case? Maybe. I'm not too sure about this. This could be a super fake copy of the real deal, where they sell everything that is totally looks exactly like Disney, but they're selling it under their Chinese brand name. So I'll be super careful with this. And I really don't think this is the actual really real Disney China here. I think this is just a fake copy of a Disney store that they have created on Aliexpress. So I would totally stay away from any product that is selling over here. And let's go and take a look at this. This store has been open since 2017, and it does have a bunch of followers. Of course, if this is the actual Disney store, well, maybe I made a total mistake. So 686 of those products might have been sold, or even much more than that. But this is something I'll be super careful with, because this could be a fake copy of the real thing. So be super careful with that. Next thing, selling seeds. Any kind of seeds are not really allowed to be sold in certain countries. Although I would not mind selling some bonanza seeds, or actually growing some of those and selling bonanza trees. This is not a very smart thing to sell. A lot of countries have restrictions of what kind of things you can import and export to them. And seeds are one of those that a lot of countries have restrictions for them. So therefore, unless you're actually selling the bonanza trees, I would really not actually do so. Next thing, this is the last one that we're going to go into, is actual iPhone. I'm talking about not iPhone cases, but the real iPhone. They do sell some iPhones over here, but the question is this the authentic iPhone, or is this a fake China version of the exact thing that you're supposed to be calling an iPhone? If this is a fake version of the real deal, this is a big no-no. If it is actually the real thing that they are selling, and they're selling a used version of it, it is allowed, but then again, we don't know that. We don't know what we're getting here. Plus, the price is very high for something that potentially could not be the real thing. So this is another one I would totally stay away from. So here you go, you have a list of 10 products or categories that you shouldn't get into and sell things from it. It is very likely that if you start selling from any of those products, you can get your account restricted. Therefore, my recommendation for you, better be safe than sorry, and stay away from selling anything that potentially could be a fake copy, things that you shouldn't be actually selling, and of course, things that have a brand name to them.